Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week, and halfway through we stop for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. You liked it, so we spun it off. We're at 111. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning I put a post out on Instagram with Zach and I holding coffees. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
You're an awesome couple with amazing insights on the automotive world. Thank you. What would you say are the top 3 errors consumers make on buying a vehicle? And what are the top 3 things consumers should research first when buying a vehicle? Can I go first on the first one?
Yeah, well, there's way more than 3, but
yeah, I'm
okay.
going to go with what I think top 3. First one, test drive the vehicle. That's the most important thing because you get a feel for everything in the vehicle. Acceleration,
But Andrea,
steering, suspension, comfort level.
But with COVID and shortages, they wouldn't even let you drive the car.
Well, that's why you had to rely on us and our videos, which we cover all that stuff. But yes, if that was the case, then you would put a non-refundable deposit down on the vehicle. When the vehicle comes in, drive it. If you don't like it, walk away from it. The other thing is space. Bring your car seats, bring your stroller. Bring your large kids if they need to sit in the rear seat all the time. If you have a dog in a crate, bring your crate. And finally, this is a big one for me. Know what you're paying for the car. If you are leasing or financing the vehicle, just don't go by monthly payments. A lot of dealerships will try and get the payments down lower so it's affordable, but you actually don't know how much you've actually paid for the car.
So one thing is for me, don't pay all the extras. So when you meet the salesperson and they go, let me speak to my manager about getting you the best deal. So you hammer a price, the car's 40 grand. Then you go into another office and that's the business manager. The business manager is just another salesperson. Okay, resist the urge to buy all the packages and they're going to hit you hard. They're going to say it's just extra money for the dealership. Often you can buy all of those services and things that you might want away from the dealer and often for less money. A few exceptions might be things like wheel protection, stuff like that. But a lot of this, don't buy an extra warranty on a brand new car. You're buying a brand new car with a warranty. Don't buy an extra warranty. Buy the warranty when the regular warranty is about to end because life can change. You might pay for that warranty and then you sell the car and you need a bigger car for your family. So that's one for me is don't pay for all the extra add-ons if you just really, really don't need them. The other one is, Andrea, people really need to figure out what the hell they want before they start shopping. And a lot of people... Well,
that's where he's saying about the research. Yeah. What are the top 3 research?
But there's this, you know, the want and then the need, and it depends on your budget. You might have an unlimited budget where you can just get whatever the hell you want. And if you don't like it, you just get another one. But for most people, they have to be pragmatic with their money. They have to look at what they really need. So don't get caught into the shiny new stuff. Really figure out what you need. So that's number 2. I got to think of a third one, Andrea. And it always comes down to make sure you fit in it.
Fit in it is a big one. I think for research, obviously watch our videos. We cover almost everything to help you with that car buying experience and to make it a little bit easier for you. That's what our videos focus on. I know it's difficult to navigate these websites, but obviously budget is the big one. How much do you have to spend? Some people will want to look at value. How many features do I get for my budget? So you look at the different trim levels. Of course, safety features. What comes standard? What doesn't? That might be number 1 on your list. I want to get as many safety features as possible.
A lot of people get sucked into all this though, Andrea. They think to themselves, oh, I have to have a 360 camera system, or I have to have all these advanced safety features. And if you're a new car buyer, most new car buyers are actually in their 40s and 50s. You've been driving for a while. And I always say, have you been able to drive for the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years without all of these systems? And most people will say, yeah, I'm a pretty good driver. I'm like, well, you can get by without them in your next car. But so going to like the top package in order to get all that stuff,
Yeah.
in my opinion, sometimes you don't even use it.
No, you don't use it. Like for me, I really need heated seats here. I really need a heated steering wheel. I would miss those two features. And then really, I just want front and rear parking sensors. That would be good enough for me. Or
Power liftgate, Andrew? Do you need a power liftgate?
I could go without if I had to. So there's certain needs and wants that each individual has. And if you can figure out kind of where you sit before you head to the dealership, it will be super helpful because they will always push you onto a higher trim. If you know what you want, you can say, no, I'm not interested. This is what I want. This is my budget. I'm not paying any more for it. I'm considering buying a Ford Escape Platinum. Should I go with the hybrid or the 2-liter EcoBoost? I do mostly highway driving. In Alberta, the hybrid costs $4,000 more, and the interest rate is 1% higher. Would the fuel savings outweigh the extra cost?
Well, hybrids are more efficient in not on highway driving. But yes, the 2-liter is 250 horsepower and it's turbocharged and will use way more gas than the hybrid. And the Ford hybrids outside of the Toyota hybrids are the most fuel efficient.
Yeah.
So to make up the $5,000 is going to take quite a few years.
Yeah, it would definitely take quite a few years, but I do believe resale value on a hybrid will be better long term than a gas model. So if you plan on keeping the vehicle for a longer period of time, I think you will see benefits at the end, but you will not see it right away. But it's a personal choice. I mean, people are buying hybrids to also reduce emissions. It's not just
He's
about...
from Alberta. Alberta, they don't care about emissions, Andrea.
I'm just saying.
That's a joke, by the way. Don't pile on me. It's a freaking joke, okay? Take it easy.
I'm not even going there. I'm just going to ignore the comment. But I think that people are buying hybrids for different reasons. And of course, fuel economy is one of them.
But I will come back to which one would you want to drive? Say you were driving from Alberta to Edmonton. It's a long drive and you want to pass a truck or something like that. Which one would you want to be in?
Yeah, the EcoBoost.
Yeah, so the 250 horsepower is kind of overkill for that size of vehicle. It came out years ago. You know, they used that in the Range Rover Evoque. When the Range Rover Evoque first came out, I remember driving and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So it's almost overkill for that size.
I don't know. It's good enough for me. 250 horsepower. I like it. So you have to decide what you want. But no, we don't believe you'll see the savings right away.
Oh, it's going to take a few years, but it will save you money in the long run. Back to Andrew's point, the hybrid will be worth more.
I'm trading in my NX350H for a 2024 IS 500 F Sport 3 in October. Wow. Which color do you recommend? I'm torn between Incognito, Inflared, or Ultrasonic Mica Blue. Also, is it true that if you go with the red, my insurance rate will go up?
That's totally false. The red thing is nonsense.
No, but if you drive fast in a red car, you just may get a ticket.
I don't know. The blue one's pretty bold. I don't know.
Blue is bold.
Here's my answer to you in the color. Buy the one you like.
Wow,
Don't ask me. Like, what am I going to say?
I know.
First of all, it's like, what I like and what you like could be totally different.
I do like the blue. I think the blue looks cool. But I'm really surprised. Like, what a difference. You're going from an NX hybrid to an IS 500 F Sport. I mean...
They want to live a little, Andrea.
Wow, that's
maybe they're from
day.
Alberta.
Anyway, there you go. My vote is blue. Hey guys, love your show. It's very informative and helps make some solid decisions about cars. Thank you. Need help in deciding to go between the 2024 RAV4 Hybrid XSE Limited versus the 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. Longevity and safety is a priority. Thanks again. And keep rocking, you guys.
It's going to use the same hybrid system as the RAV4, 219 horsepower, plug and play.
I mean, the thing is, it's a new vehicle. I know it's the hybrid system from Toyota, but it's still a new vehicle. It's still, Mazda's take on it. So if you're looking for longevity, I think that the RAV4 Hybrid XSE, that sport model, Sporty
Was that XL,
RAV4.
XSE or XLE?
XSE.
Oh, the sporty one. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I just think if you're looking for that, then Toyota is the better way to go, because that's a tried and true powertrain from Toyota.
In a year and 4 months, it's going to be the old model, though. So Toyota apparently is going to bring out the next RAV4 at the end of 2025. So. But the CX-50 is still going to be kind of current. So that's one thing you might want to think about, is that you're going to be driving the older Toyota versus the newest and latest from Mazda.
My issue with the CX-50, the seats are very firm. I don't like the seats. I spoke to the PR team from Mazda when we were on the CX-70 event and asked them, when the hybrid comes out, are you going to keep those seats, or are you going to update them?
What was the answer?
They said the seats are going to be the same. There's not going to be a change. But now I'm hearing rumors online that they have updated the seats.
See the power of Andrea?
They may be more comfortable.
Andrea's at there.
That
question.
is what happened.
Quick question. The seats in the CX-50, they're really hard.
Are you
going
doing
to change
something
them?
about them?
And now, no, we're not doing anything, Andrea. Now it's coming out. They might be doing something.
And Zach is always like, well, how did you get this info? Oh, I was talking to the product planner for quite a bit at the event. He sat beside me.
Quick question. The guy sees Andrew coming. He's like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom.
I feel bad for them because I just have so many questions in my head, and I just have to ask, and they're pretty good.
Okay,
when
we go on these launches, before Andrea joined the channel full time, I used to go, and I was the guy who asked all the questions. At the end of the product presentation, I go, what about this, this, and this? And it was always like, oh, here comes Zach with all his questions. Well, I've been outdone. And so now when they see us, they're like, oh, these two.
But
there was Evan from Subaru. We were at the launch, and I had him sweating. He was sweating. I was asking so many questions.
He was getting a little bit stressed, I think. But then at other launches, like, oh, you guys weren't too bad. I felt like it was manageable this time. But the thing is, I carry it forward to drinks and dinner.
You know what? Andrea came up with
a
great strategy. Okay, so they have this presentation. It's about an hour and a half long. They go through a gajillion slides.
Yeah.
They have different people come up and present, and the product planner is the most important one. And at the end, any questions? And I'm like this. And Andrea said to me, listen, take your hand down. Let's get them. Let's corner them. And because all the intel we get is shared with the rest of the group. And I used to say to all these guys who say, Zach, you ask too many questions. I would say, well, if I'm asking too many questions, how come when they give the answer, you all go like this? Oh, and they write it down. And so now we keep it on the down low.
And if I need the answer right away, then I ask at the presentation. Otherwise, I ask later. And then also they're drinking. So sometimes I get a little bit of extra information off of the record, which I don't put in the review, but it just all stays up here.
You know what the off the record slowly sneaks into questions, coffee,
exactly.
And cars. So we'll say something like we heard, or we heard a rumor.
Exactly.
So there you go. That's why I got to tune in for the other.
Always tune
back.
into QCC. Enjoy your post. We're looking to downsize from a 2018 Volvo XC60 to a smaller SUV or crossover. We like the XC60, but want something more nimble for city spaces. Perhaps a subcompact SUV. Recommendations.
What about okay?
You know, I know what you're going to say. You say it.
What about the ZX40?
Exactly, XC40.
Oh, I always screw those two up. XC40, CX40.
I mean, you're in it, right?
Get
you're
the
a
Volvo.
Volvo guy.
Yeah.
Get the XC40. It's refined. It's smooth. The interior is nice. If you want something that's more engaging and fun, get the X1 or the X2 by BMW.
Exactly, Andrea. Nailed it.
I love you all. Energy and insight in the automotive world. Thank you. I am in a search for an SUV. What are your thoughts on the Honda CR-V and the Mazda CX-70? Which one would you prefer for longevity? Before you answer, Zach, I just want to say I go back and forth saying Mazda and Mazda because some viewers from the U.S. tell me that
it's like nails on a chalkboard.
They say it's so cringy, Andrea, when you say Mazda. They don't like it.
I've told you the answer, the solution is we say Mazda, which is the way you say it in Japanese. So what the
Okay.
the Mazda
Yeah,
CX-70 or
Okay,
the
so
CRV?
what would you
Oh,
what
listen,
would you do?
the CX-70 is more premium, right? It's just a level up. It's much bigger. It's got a huge back seat, an enormous cargo area because it's the Mazda CX-90 without the third row. So it's just way bigger. And the CRV from Honda, which is how you say it in Japanese, Honda, is basically cheap and cheerful, I would call it on the inside.
So here's the thing about the CX-70. In Canada, it starts at just under $50,000 for that base model. The base model doesn't look as upscale as the top trim. Zach and I found that out in the CX-90. So you could get a CRV hybrid for around the same price as the base model of the CX-70 in Canada. That does include freight, PDI, and fees. And then if you want to get the gas model CRV, it starts around $38,000 in Canada and goes up to about $45,000.
But one thing
So-
I just want to jump in on a couple of the other differences is one's
Yeah.
a plug-in hybrid, so you can get the
But that's the gas model starting under $50,000.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is if you wanted to get the Mazda CX-70 plug-in hybrid, not offered by Honda, they just have a regular hybrid. And the other one is wireless Apple and Android is not standard on the CX-70, but all but the base model of the Honda get wireless Android and Apple. And the thing is, most people are going to buy not the base model anyway.
No, the CX-70 definitely feels more upscale. I mean, it's a Honda interior. It's good. It's functional. It's practical. CRV is a spacious vehicle for its class.
It's really
but
big, yeah.
The CX-70 is bigger. So you have to decide, what would you go for? What would you go for?
I would go for the CRV. I'm not totally, I hate to say this because we have a MX-5 long-term test parked in front of the house, but I'm just not fully sold on the Mazda CX-70 and 90 yet. I have to get it back again here and drive it to see if they've ironed out the transmission issues.
And look, if I'm going to get the CX-70 gas model for just under $50,000, I'm going to spend $1,000 or $2,000 more, and I'm going to get the CRV hybrid because resale value on that hybrid is great. Fuel economy is pretty good on that hybrid. And people seem to like it. Like, it does handle quite well.
It's good.
Hello to both. Enjoy the channel. We recently had Pirelli P0 tires replaced by Ford on our 2023 Mach E due to cracking after 3 months of ownership. Are Pirellis known for issues, or are they considered a good brand? First time having that brand's tires and can't say I'm confident in using the replacements. There are no, Pirelli is a good brand.
High-end brand.
Yeah, I mean, it gets great reviews. I did take this online specifically for EVs, and there are some reports with Pirelli that with EVs there is some cracking of tires. However, you have to remember a lot of it has to do with driving habits. I'm not saying that you are like a crazy racing kind of guy. But the thing about EVs, the battery is heavy. There's a lot of wear and tear on the tires. It offers amazing torque. So if you're accelerating a lot, you could have some issues. But this is much too early.
Listen, so we are at the beta stage really for EV everything, for charging, for the vehicles and for the tires. It's all first generation stuff. So the car companies are learning as they go. The tire manufacturers have to produce tires that are seeing loads they've never seen before. These vehicles are so heavy and they're trying to produce a performance tire. Like a P0 is a very high-end tire that you would put on a sports car. There are different levels of P0s, but so they're learning as they go too. What I would suggest you do is if you go to the dealer, ask them, because every car company has more than one tire they put on the car. So for example, this car came with Continentals. It was also available with Michelin tires. Depend on the run that they do, which ones you're going to get. So you could ask them to switch you into maybe a Goodyear or a Michelin or whatever the other tire is that they offer. And everybody's learning as they go, and I bet you Pirelli's in that beta stage as well.
And it's interesting interesting. I sat with Toyota's Scott McKenzie over dinner one night, and
He said like this. Quick question. It didn't. It was gin and soda. It wasn't. It wasn't coffee.
And I was talking to him, and we did get on tires, and we were talking about different tire brands, and he said each Toyota and Lexus model has a specific tire that they use based on the model. And so he says a lot of research goes into that. So exactly what Zach said, you know, maybe talk to the brand and the model and what's on the vehicle and stick with what they're offering, because they've done the research on it and they know what works.
Yeah, but each line, say it was like Bridgestone, Michelin, Pirelli, and so on, will make a tire for that vehicle. So you're not married to one brand. So back to Scott's point, they make the tires specifically for that car, but there are usually three suppliers, because if you're Toyota, for example, and you're making RAV4s, and all of a sudden there's a strike at one factory, you have to have parts from another factory, right? That's the way. That's why they do it.
Anyway, interesting information about tires. I wouldn't worry about Pirellis. They're a terrific brand.
For sure.
Maybe there's something faulty with that tire.
That batch.
Who knows? But I would feel confident, and I'm happy to hear that Ford replaced them for you. I mean, they should. It's 3 months.
Yeah.
There's a problem there.
Or maybe you're driving like a hooligan, is what Andrea's saying.
I tend to with EVs. If we had an EV, I would really have to watch that, because you can't just go off and accelerate all the time. Come on, Andrea.
But look at the cars they put P0s on. They put them on the most expensive high-performance cars made. So if they can handle that, they should be able to handle an electric car.
For sure. Thanks for watching. If you want to get a question in, follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out on Instagram with Zach and I holding coffees. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show.
See you then.